After years of hoping, the Calgary Flames are unanimously getting a new arena in downtown River District.
You're Locked On Flames, your daily podcast on the Calgary Flames. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Locked On Flames. As always, I'm your host, Jess Belmosto, and today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. The press conference has wrapped, and the Flames and the whole really city of Calgary is getting a facelift thanks to all these negotiations that started from a revision of the Saddle Dome to now the whole district. And I'm here to break it down for you because there was a lot thrown at you. There was a lot to process in that press conference, and I'm here to help you with that. But before we do that, please make sure you're subscribed to Locked On Flames wherever you get your podcasts. It's free. And we're on YouTube as well. So I definitely want to hear your thoughts on this new project that's happening. So obviously this is huge. It took a lot of work to get to this point. This has gone from just like a new arena to a whole entertainment district. And it's a $1.2 billion commitment. But that's okay. It's fine. It's fine. So I am going to break down the cost and the funding and all these other things because it's not just as simple as writing a check for $1.22 billion, right? So the city is investing $537.3 million to fund development of the event center, parking structure, the enclosed plaza, and 25% of the community rink. So that's pretty cool, right? There's going to be a community rink. There's going to be shopping centers. There's going to be hotels. It's really cool. It reminds me a little bit, I mean, it's probably going to be a lot cooler, but of Patriots Place in Massachusetts outside of Gillette Stadium, where there's shops, restaurants, a movie theater, a small concert venue, and I don't know if they still do it, but there's in the winter, there's an ice skating rink, there's concerts, there's football games, there's all sorts of stuff happening there, and it's really great to see. So Calgary Sports and Entertainment are footing the bill of $40 million up front, and then $17 million per year over 35 years to offset event center costs, parking, the enclosed plaza, and the community rink. That is insane. That's like when I took out my car loan and I had to sign for, like, I felt like I was trapped. My God, that's such a long time. But so it's a $356 million in present value, and then $750 million over the next 35 years. That's so crazy to think about. In 35 years, like, will the NHL still be around in 35 years? Is that a thing? But then they have a $1.5 million per year to community sports. There's going to be, like the community rink center. There's going to be the practice facility. So I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of outpouring support for the local community. And there's $25 million in present value. And then, of course, again, $52.52 million over the next 35 years. The province of Alberta is footing a $330 million bill. I don't understand where, like, to me, when I see these figures, money isn't real. Like, after like $10,000, I'm like, okay, money isn't real anymore. Like, there's no way. So with $300 million is going to fund transportation improvements, land infrastructure, site enabling costs, including off and on-site utility servicing cost, public realm, and site clearing and demolition. Again, I don't know where they get these figures from. I don't know how they decide, especially where they don't have contractors yet or, things like that. So, maybe maybe they'll play hardball with these numbers. I don't know. This is obviously already a lot of money. And then there's $30 million to fund 50% of the community rink. The Calgary Stampede were also kind enough to agree to a land sale. So there's going to be a land transfer that will allow for development of the event center that enables a vibrant entertainment district surrounding the event center. That's really cool. I think that's absolutely fantastic. Everything is so everything needs a facelift every now and then, right? Especially I feel like so many of these arenas are not too modern. It doesn't not even just talking about the stuff around it, but just I feel like some of the stuff is outdated. It doesn't look like a 2023 arena. It just could use an upgrade. And I'm really excited. I think that the Flames are going to have a lot of fun. There's so much that can still happen between now and whenever they break ground. But this is fantastic news for all of the sports teams in Calgary. And even if there's some more to come, this is wild to me. I'll break down the pricing very quickly. So the event center is going to cost $800 million. Parking is $35.4 million. There's an enclosed plaza, which will cost just under $10 million. On-site public realm is $28.7 million. A community rink, which is going to cost $52.8 million. Transportation improvement, infrastructure, and other district benefits are going to cost $238.4 million. And $58.5 million are allocated to other costs. So, monopoly money. I mean, I don't know how you get this money, but that's besides the point. The Flames could very well potentially have a new arena in the next 5 years. That is so exciting. And we're going to talk more about what this means for the city of Calgary coming up next. But I also want to take a look at, what this means for the Flames in terms of putting Calgary back on the map and getting events hosted in Calgary, because people like to run their mouths and say that Edmonton is, the place to be. Calgary is skipped over all the time because it's just not the place to be. But for now, you can absolutely check out the Game Time app and get your tickets to events wherever you are. You can download the Game Time app today and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. I will personally be using this so I can go see Katya and Trixie Mattel in Montreal. I'm so excited. And of course, might let someone else use it so we can go see Taylor Swift, right? Game Time is the place for last-minute ticket deals. You don't need to plan months in advance. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the day of the event, and you can get exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. So you can snag tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. And thank you everyone for hanging out with me today on Locked On Flames. Make sure you're subscribed and following us on YouTube as well. I am very happy for the Flames. The whole district really of professional sports in Calgary. I think that this has been needed. This is something, it's obviously a enormous investment. I don't believe that the province money is guaranteed just yet. I believe this has to do with the election. And I don't want to get into that because I don't know much about Canadian politics, but this could be bait to vote. There's usually happens. It's just the nature of life, right? But with today's $1.2 billion event center district announcement, CSEC president and CEO John Bean says Calgary is back in the rotation for the NHL draft and NHL All-Star game. This is coming from Pat Steinberg of Fan 960, and Calgary hasn't hosted a draft since 2000, and the last and only All-Star game was in 1985. So the last draft here was 23, almost 24 years ago. And the last All-Star game was 37 years ago. It's time. I think that this is a really fantastic time for Calgary. I think it's going to be kind of a bright spot when things aren't looking so good. That's kind of, it's very bleak right now. And it is exciting to see things kind of blossom, and it feels different this time around than, say, when conversations were happening last winter, just because it was a unanimous vote today. And John Bean got all choked up when he was talking about the scrutiny that the city of Calgary has faced, and I hope this man is not on Twitter because it's even worse. And John Bean says, while there are many ups and downs to professional sports, there can be no doubt that our ownership group wants to win championships for all our fans in Calgary. Yes, that's lip service. Yes, that is a basic answer. But, I mean, at least they're willing to put money behind it. I think a lot of teams are... I don't know. I think that it takes a lot to get any sort of real upgrades like this. So, for them to invest the time and the money to do it, it's great. And this also goes to show you that $8 million they're paying Sutter, it's like chump change. And that's for another day. But it's very exciting. I think a lot about how, people just rag on the Saddle Dome. And people talk about how, oh, well, like, it's so outdated, but it's also like so iconic. It has the catwalk for the media, and I think that is something that everyone that is in media, like for the first time, like is excited to cross, because it's just some sort of monumental milestone and cool fun fact, I guess. And for the fans as well, you're getting something that is going to be so much more than just an arena. Because when these plans started, it really was just kind of the arena and shopping center sort of stuff. And I don't think it was nearly as fully developed as this plan was. And it's great to see that, things things are happening. Things are absolutely happening. And you absolutely love to see it. And it's great to see just everyone kind of coming together and putting their money where their mouth is, and, backing up that they want better and they want to invest. Now, what does this mean for the team? Probably nothing. I think that most of these guys aren't even going to be on the team when this project maybe even breaks ground, or by the time it's completed. I think it's going to take, I would say, 5 years before things really happen, depending on how things work. I feel like with anything like this, you're naturally going to have setbacks. And you couldn't really get a straight answer out of the mayor. And, that's politics, but it's also just at such an early stage in the process that you're not going to have answers. Another thing was that John Bean got like super choked up. I think I mentioned this while talking about the scrutiny that the city and the team has faced. Like, he started crying, and I was just like, it's okay. Like, I promise it's gonna be okay. Like, but it was nice. It was nice. He did give, or I guess the Calgary Flames, the Flames Foundation donated, not donated, but had jerseys made for all the local politicians and councilwomen that were speaking today. So that's neat. That's cool. Also, Andrew Mangiapane was in the crowd today. Super casual. Nikita Zadorov was there as well, and I think someone else. I think it was Michael Stone, but also buried in all of this is Andrew Mangiapane having shoulder surgery, and he's back on track to, he'll start rehab and he'll be ready for training camp. That somehow got lost in the shuffle today, but they don't have a start date for when this project breaks ground. They said it has to do with the election and whatnot, and it really just kind of sounded like patience was the key theme of this, because without patience, you are just going to be antsy and waiting for answers when there might not be coming for some time. But coming up next, we're going to talk about what this means for Calgary and the city as a whole, as well as the sports team. But before we do that, I do want to take a quick minute to talk about Indeed. Indeed is the hiring platform where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place. Don't spend hours on multiple job sites looking for candidates with the right skills. Hate waiting? Indeed's US data shows over 80% of Indeed employers find quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed matches the job description the moment they sponsor a job. Candidates you invite to apply through Instant Match are 3 times more likely to apply to your job than candidates who only see it in the search, according to US Indeed data. Indeed knows when you're growing your business, you have to make every dollar count. That's why with Indeed, you only pay for quality applications that match your must-have job requirements. Visit Indeed.com/lockedon to start hiring today. Just go to Indeed.com/lockedon. Terms and conditions apply. Cost per application pricing not available for everyone. Need to hire? You need Indeed. And thank you, everyone, for hanging out with me today. Nick is back with us tomorrow, and I can already tell you it's going to be a fantastic episode where we dive deeper into the Flames' dissection of their season and potential changes, right? The mayor said that there are other investments that go into this. So, like hotels, finding contractors, finding construction, getting those things kind of settled. But they couldn't really give an idea of when the ground will break, or when they'll break ground, rather. So it's really a matter of, again, waiting and having that patience. The city says that it's more about creating a whole environment and shopping district, or entertainment. I don't know why I keep calling it a shopping district, an entertainment district, rather than just one thing. And to me, that makes sense. To me, that again speaks to it being a city investment, because you want to build your city. And again, the facelift, because it's not just one thing. If you just keep putting band-aids on one thing, it's not gonna stick. So if you're renovating and building an entire new stadium, arena, what have you, you might as well go all in and have the entire downtown river district just revitalized. There's going to be more parking, better public transportation. There's going to be more ways in and out of the arena. And to me, that is important. To me, as a sports fan, I need multiple ways to get to a game because, listen, sometimes I don't mind driving. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? I know, like, there's another game going on tonight, so I'm not going to take the train. So I'll just pay the extra money and park. That's fine. But then there are other days where I'm like, okay, well, it's, traffic can get pretty bad. So I'll just take the bus or the train. There is still plenty of time to get your games in at the Saddle Dome. Again, they don't have a date for when they're breaking ground on this new project. Again, sounds like answers for that could come after the election, which I believe are at the end of next month. So it's a process. This isn't necessarily a guarantee, but it does sound like things are kind of smoother than they were, say, 6 months ago. Because I remember talking about this and how it basically was just getting nixed time after time after time. And it's not now. They somehow unanimously all agree that the Flames need a new stadium or new arena. Sorry, I keep calling it a stadium. A new arena, and the River District needs a complete overhaul. So we'll just have to see how it goes. I think that waiting around is probably your best bet, because these things don't happen overnight, as you can clearly tell. So to expect, now that they have this plan, to expect something to happen immediately after is not really realistic. They have this duck in a row. Now they have to get the rest of the ducks. So stick around and find out when they'll be breaking ground for the new Calgary Flames arena. And just like that, we're done for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today on Locked On Flames. As always, I'm your host, Jess Belmosto, and you can follow me on Twitter at Jess Belmosto. Make sure you're subscribed and following us on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. We're free. And of course, let me know in the comments what you think of, this deal. What do you want to see? What store do you want to see? Is there a restaurant you want to see go to, like, this plaza? Is there an artist you want to come and perform at the new Saddle Dome? I'm calling it the new Saddle Dome because I don't know what it's going to be called. I know I'll finally be up there eventually. So I can say I went to the Saddle Dome, but let me know your thoughts, because this is such an exciting time for Flames fans. And I will catch you all tomorrow, and Nick will be back. We're going to dissect the off season some more, honeys. We got plenty of time. Bye-bye.